So we've spoken about investing, especially in the stock market. We've spoken about pensions. Now let's maybe like round it off with a little bit about like life insurance. Question: have any of you ever spoken about life insurance to your family?
It was not a conversation brought up in my family.
Okay, yeah. What about you? Same. I have never ever had a conversation about life insurance with anyone in my family, and it's kind of interesting because when we talk about exit planning, like life insurance is pretty much the insurance that you can take out if something was to happen to you, which can help sustain your family members on a similar salary or sort of financial income that you are kind of on. And I'm just getting some stats here from ULife, which is actually a company in Notion's portfolio. Hold tight, ULife. They're a cool company, but they said only 30% of people in the UK have life insurance. Now, is this like a conversation that we need to have more in the UK, or like, why do you think like people are scared to have that conversation around like life insurance?
Because it's scary, man. Who wants to think about dying?
100%. And it's what's interesting as well. You don't start getting the newsletter, like the news letters or the letters period in the post until someone in your family is like reaching retirement age. So it's almost a level of, we want you to think about this once you've already reached retirement age rather than right now. And they're not realizing that there's so many nuances and intricacies to life insurance as to why you should be doing it right now, regardless of your age. Like, one of the factors that's not even touched about is if you're actually perfectly healthy, that means you can end up paying far less contributions on a monthly basis compared to if you're already having an illness, in which that might be the first time you think about life insurance. So even that element is things that we can use to get ahead.
Facts. And did you know that for people, especially under like the age of 30, you can actually get life insurance from like £10 a month? Yeah, it's become very, very accessible with the technology and some of like the startups and things out there. It's become super accessible for anyone to like go on the internet, search for a life insurance policy and like get some life insurance, because in this life, man, you never know. We're grateful for the life that we have, but in these kind of crazy times, I think it's important to really think ahead and really think about your kind of family, because as you said, you know, when you're healthy, you never really think about it. It's only when you're ill that you start to actually think, okay, cool, what measures can I kind of put in place? So yeah, it's that thing around just planning ahead and like having those kind of conversations.
And I think also, like, I feel like if you're, to a degree, if you're, you know, employed, you get a bit more protection, right? Like, and a lot of, perhaps is only for like, you know, corporate jobs, but a lot of jobs I've had, right, they come with life insurance policies, right? That usually they're free. You just auto enroll into it. So I think especially with people who are, you know, working for themselves, running their own businesses, contractors and stuff like that, right? I think it's even more important because really that kind of buffer does not exist at all. And you want to make sure, and also we talk about life insurance, but it's not just life insurance, right? There are different types of things that can happen to you that can incapacitate you and put you out of the workforce, right? And there's insurance for that, for example, that will pay out a certain amount of money close to like, you know, 50, 60, 70% of your income. For example, if you get a long-term debilitating illness or that, and again, I think obviously psychologically, there's not things we want to think about. But as you guys were saying, right, it's better to kind of swallow the bitter pill and think about that now than have to like be in a situation where, you know, you are out of options and you can't really do much. And especially this compared to even, you know, something like pensions, where we feel like we have a bit more control of what we are doing, right? This is a complete lottery, what happens to you, right? You never know the things that can happen. So again, having that seatbelt, right, is only, I think, in my opinion anyway, is gonna give you more options to take more risks in life, to pursue, you know, the businesses and the projects you wanna do without that feeling of like, oh, I don't have any security, I don't have any kind of, you know, thing that will protect my family and my loved ones and you know, God forbid, in horrific circumstances.
And I think that right there is a very, very, very strong point. And also, not realizing that life is not about what you say or do, it's about who you are. So if you try to like save a whole lot within the space of 2 years versus just being a saver as a habit and way of life over your lifetime, you're going to get a far different outcome. And even with that as well, in terms of financial advice, there's so many different strategies, from the fact that with a life insurance, you can get a potential loan out of your life insurance. And and that in itself is far less interest than the traditional loan. And even the fact that there's so much nuance to learn, but just making a lifestyle of, let me just learn these things. For example, the difference between term life insurance and whole life insurance, where for those of you who don't know, term life insurance is whereby you pay the premiums between a certain period of time, say 10 to 30 years, and if that time passes, you don't get any of the contribution, like you don't get any of the money from the contributions you made. Normally, as a result, those premiums are shorter or smaller in number in terms of what you pay on a monthly basis compared to whole life, where it's virtually guaranteed, where you doesn't matter what age you pass away, you're still going to be taken care of. Never mind the fact that there's great advice about putting that money, setting up in a trust, so that with that trust, it's not an issue where your loved ones have to pay inheritance tax.
That's
maybe that's one for another episode.
Yeah, I think that one's
trust fund babies. Yeah.